We are now on page 22 of your learning file, the rectangle tool. Now from this point in time, we are going to, first of all, learn about a particular drawing tool. In this case, the rectangle tool. And then in the second lesson, part 1 of this, if you like, we are going to start on a business card project, applying what we've just learned. So let's start by looking at the rectangle tool. Selecting the rectangle tool from the toolbar, or if you feel like you can't see it there, click a little fly out and you will see it there. So pick from the list, rectangle, click and drag to draw a rectangle. And remember, finger on control constraints to create a perfect square, but I just want a rectangle for right now. I'm now going to select the shape tool, the second one down, the shape tool, and the shape is again a tool you'll just use all the time because it will affect all of the drawing tools, and you'll see as we go. So select the shape tool. You will notice what happens is 4 little notes appear on my object. Now remember, my object had to be selected first. If I go select my shape tool, I will then have to click on my object to select it or not. All I have to do now is click on one of the 4 corners and then drag, click and drag, and all 4 corners round perfectly the same. I can click on any one of these to create this effect. If I want around only one corner, simply click again on that corner and then round. Now watch this. If I don't click first, but I just simply begin to drag again, you notice all 4 corners are adjusting. Okay, so remember, to adjust a corner, you must click on that corner first, then adjust. If I want to readjust, click again, one click, and then I can readjust, okay? So I will just quickly delete that. I'll draw another rectangle. As I said earlier in the previous lesson, all of the drawing tools have properties, and those properties will always appear across the property bar here, and we have a number we need to look at. Well, we saw the shape at the corner using the shape tool, but I can't actually manually type in a value into any one of the 4 corners if the lock is on, and it is on right now. And I type a value, say 20. All 4 corners will have a 20 mm corner radius applied. However, if I turn the lock off, I can't adjust just one corner, so I justify. So I am just adjusting the one corner, and this is great if you require extreme accuracy to be able to type in a value. Here is the thing now. I want you to watch this. If I turn the lock back on, and let's say I add 5 to this one corner, so I will type in a value of 10. What's going to happen is all 4 corners will have 5 added to them because 5 is the difference of what I have added there. So enter. So now I have got 25, 10, and 25. Can you see that? It's very important to realize that with that lock on, whatever you type into one box, that same amount will be applied to all 4 radiuses. Well, I am just going to delete that, and I'm going to draw another rectangle. Lock on, type in a value of 20. In X6, we have a number of additions effect. I will drop that back to 10. One of the big ones is this one here, relative corners scaling. Now this is not available in X4 and X3, and it's a really great reason to upgrade. What this means is that if I resize this rectangle, the radius resizes with me. Now I will let go. Notice it went from 10 to 17. Again, if I shrink this down from 17 down to 4.6, so that the radius is adjusting as I resize. If I turn this off, which is how it looks in X1, X3, and then I resize, the radius remains the same, as you can see that there. This can be a nuisance and really affect your final design if you need to resize it. It can really change the appearance of the design, so just remember that one. Leave that on unless you have a reason to turn it off. And last but not least, now in X6, we have the addition of 2 extra tops of corners, a scalloped corner and a shape fit corner, both really good for creating plaque effects and that type of thing. There you go. And finally, with every one of the drawing tools, you always have the ability to adjust the outline fitness from the property bar. So again, if I were to select like 10, as you can see, I usually work with a 1 or a little thinner than that. So with a little creativity, I can be at least a little silly. Watch this. I will click and drag, and I will just draw close to a square. I will grab my shape tool and all round the corner off. Click, round that corner off, just a little, this one, little more, and that one little less. Should have clicked again, so I click again. So I have run it all 4 corners a little differently. Plus on my keyboard, or don't forget Control-C and Control-V, finger on Control, flip that over, just move it over a little bit, then create another duplicate, plus on my keyboard, shrink that duplicate right down, pop it there, plus on my keyboard, pop that over the other side, and I will flip it over. Finger on Control, and I'm doing it very fast, and you can play this in your own way, and I am using nothing I haven't taught you so far. So, finger on Shift and select the 2 background ones. Make them yellow. Select both of those. Make them blue. And I am actually going to shrink that down a little. Shrink it down a little bit, pop those there, and I will create another duplicate. Plus on my keyboard, drag that down there, shrink it down, rotate around a little bit, like that, and plus on my keyboard, pull that down, close it up. Now come on, you can't tell me that this is hard to do. There is nothing about this. Not to be silly, really in reality, but it's a bit of fun, and it puts to use one of these we've been learning. And here we go. So I kind of got square face going on. And I can make that green in color. Now remember, it will be on the top layer. Finger on Control, page down a few times, and it will slowly go back down through the stacking order. And there we go, a silly face using rectangles. And that's probably a good experiment for you to try, and it will hone new skills for the next lesson.